What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Casual Corner, and I'm gonna be doing another episode of Casual Opinion. This time, I'm gonna be focusing on ways to improve, fighting games, like in the future and all that good stuff. Like with the arrival of Street Fighter Six, basically it seems like they're advertising more to the casual fan base of fighting games, and that's a good look right there. Offering, even putting in a little open world type feel to it, like Tekken Force mode is for Tekken, but this time they're allowing you to make a custom character, and that's pretty cool. But not to jump too much in that. That's just like an example of, I feel, the direction that fighting games should go. Getting back to how it used to be. In the beginning, in the early, when I was growing up, anyways, in the mid 90s to the early 2000s, fighting games they focused more on the fun side rather than the competitive side. And yet the FGC and the competitive scene was a thing. It wasn't the focus, right? Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. These games are competitive by nature, but they didn't focus on that. That was more for the elite scene. And it seems like now, as time goes on, it's like they're trying to find a perfect balance, as you could say. So I think there are some things that they could do to help, make these games better for both, casual and competitive players alike, right? But with that being said, if you like this type of content, just like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to try to push this type of content out a lot more quicker in the future. Okay, it's been a minute too, so I need to get back on this, right? Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing is, of course, even though some people may not care about this when it comes to fighting games do need to have a cohesive story, right? It don't need to be nothing like Final Fantasy or along the lines of The Witcher. Nothing crazy like that. I mean, it is a fighting game at the end of the day, but it still needs to have a decent story. Something that gives the fighters a reason to fight each other, right? Because it can't just be like just a bunch of... If I had a story, it'd be just a bunch of people just meeting up randomly to beat up each other. And that's crazy, right? So we need to at least have some type of struggle or some motivation for these guys to want to beat the crap out of each other, right? And also, along with the story, you need to have a strong and diverse roster. Something for everyone. There got to be a character that at least everyone that plays fighting games can get along with and or relate to in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, you want to try to get as many more different martial disciplines, like every game has a Bruce Lee, every game has a Jackie Chan, capoeira, all the different fighting styles, right? All that good stuff. So, and we got to make sure that not only that, but for this, I would say this tip right here goes for the longer, the franchises that have been around for quite a bit of time. Like Mortal Kombat, for example. Mortal Kombat has a very large roster of characters, right? But for some reason, not just Mortal Kombat 2, but Street Fighter and... Well, not Street Fighter, just Mortal Kombat. And I guess Tekken 2. But they tend to not care too much about bringing existing characters back in favor of throwing in, like, characters that have nothing to do with the franchise. Like, and this, I think this started with when Injustice came, having Mortal Kombat characters in their Injustice game, Injustice characters in the superheroes in the Mortal Kombat games. Not say that's not bad, just that Mortal Kombat has so many characters already. It doesn't need to get too many guest characters. Like, for instance, latest Mortal Kombat has Terminator, Rambo, and RoboCop. Like, I don't know why. I don't even know who asked for that. I know the Terminator is there to promote the Dark Fate movie that sucked ass, but I didn't. And Rambo, I guess because Terminator's there. Also, the old action movies, but RoboCop, I didn't think people like RoboCop like that. But what I'm saying is they don't need to be there, right? Like those slots could have been filled by characters that didn't make it. For example, like Kung Jin and Takeda, characters that were well liked, especially Takeda, that just got introduced last game yet aren't here. Although their female counterparts are, like Jackie and Cassie. So I don't know what happened there, but those are just examples of what not to do. Except for the exception of Spawn, he was okay. Now, if you're gonna do a guest character, that will be how you do it. But other than that, for especially those long existing franchises, focus on your existing roster because you have a pretty big one, right? And the story, especially if you use a time travel type theme, there's no reason why you shouldn't have any characters from your own roster from the existing roster not there. I mean, you could literally, with time travel, you could pick any character from within your story and put them in there and use that as a way to rework the character. I mean, they did it with Frost. I mean, she's the leader of Cyber Lin Kuei now, so. And I thought that was actually pretty dope ass rework for her. She looked tight as fuck, and her moves were good. So, but that's just an example of the story and roster that they to follow, you know, of what to do and what not to do. Right? Make sure the story is good and make it work in a way that you can build a diverse roster from it. Right? So, that's that. Now let's get on to the next one. All right, so second point's real easy, just customization really, and with these last couple of fighting games, it's been really good, especially Mortal Kombat. They really brought their customization over from the Injustice 2, where you can get different parts or costume pieces for your characters, and they've also made it so that certain parts pay homage to older costumes, especially in the Injustice games. You got like different versions of Superman or Wonder Woman, Flash, and they all got their. You just gotta collect the pieces. So, of course, they offer like different bonuses to your character, but the whole thing is just offering more content to the to players, right? And also they make it so you can have different moves as well. But not to stay too long on that, they brought that over to Mortal Kombat. Same thing with Mortal Kombat. You can customize your loadout with moves and or armor pieces. So that's real good touch there. Tekken also has it so that you can do the same thing. Well, not really with moves, but just making your character look different, unique to yourself. You can put on different costumes or pieces of costumes, different animations, colors, stuff like that. So that's all good. With I think when it comes to Tekken though, I think Tekken Tag 2 had it the best. 7 they kind of toned it down. Although they did bring a new concept they did with King and Lars both, where putting on a certain costume would change your rage art. They didn't do it with any other character, so I think that was a wasted opportunity. Hopefully in the future, well, with Tekken 8 coming out, they might go more into depth with that that feature, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on there. Because I thought that was a nice touch. I just wish they did it with more characters than just those two. Soul Calibur also does it too. Street Fighter 6 is gonna be making so you can create a character, so that's also good. So like customization is real easy. Players need that, and it'll also influence characters. Oh well, not characters, but I mean players to stay invested in these games a lot longer. More is always better, right? Especially these type of games. So, all right. So on to the next point. All right, and my last point will be to, I guess, for lack of better words, protecting the player base, and what that means is like casuals and stuff, and not only just casuals, but also the more elite players or veteran players. Making it so that you can avoid the more, you know, toxic players of the community. And of course, if you've been playing, well, shit, not just fighting games, but multiplayer games in general, you know there's going to be certain players out there that just want to just ruin your day. That's kind of like, on some Joker shit, They just want to cause problems, make you mad, all that good stuff. Where I know that some players might tell you, the whole, what's the saying, get good or whatever, but not everybody is trying to get good. Some people just want to just chill and play their favorite game, you know what I'm saying? And I ran into a couple of players myself that I know that it's gonna be a bad time, so instead of playing them, I just opt out of the match, or I just like it'll be loading up, so I just quit out. Like I don't wait till the fight starts or anything. It'll show their name, or I'll see it'll either two things I'll see: either their rank is really high, or they have a very bad connection, maybe 3 bars or lower. Especially this is dealing with Tekken, like. For example, in Tekken, right before the match start, when you connect with a player, they have that little menu pop up and it shows their connection. Now that's a chance for you to opt out of the match, right? You can click yes or no. But see, some players out there they like the lag switch, so it'll show that they have good connection, but as soon as you set the match and get into the fight, that's when their connection starts acting all wonky and shit. So of course, you got to deal with that. So I start seeing that, I'll just leave. That you don't have to. Like thing is with casuals, these elite players, they have these set of rules that they play by, regardless of how the match goes. Regardless of dudes being stupid or a bad connection, you just gotta play it out to the end. Like as a casual, you don't have to do all that. Just leave. Like. And of course, you might get a message for some of these guys too. That's another thing why we need a block list, so that when you deal with problematic players like that, you can just block them and be done with it. And this is across all fighting games. By having a system like that in all fighting, I know Street Fighter V has a block list, but it has a finite amount of spaces. And thing that's not good about that, I don't know if they changed it or not, but last time I played it, they had it was I think 100 slots or whatever. Thing is, a lot of these players, they know that they might get blocked or reported or whatnot, so they have multiple accounts, which is dumb. But by having an infinite amount of spaces, you can get around that. Like one dude might have like 10 multiple accounts, so just because you block they one account, you might still run into them again. So by having an infinite amount of spaces, you don't have to deal with that. You can just block the dude and be done with it. Of course, you have to play on the first time, but after that, it's a done deal. You can just go ahead and block them, not have to deal with that type of crap anymore. But if they had that system in place, casuals will be more and have more incentive to stay, because they know that they don't have to put up with the more problematic players in the community, right? But yeah, with that being said, those are my points on how to improve the fighting games, going off for the better, and, into the future, and getting more people around on these games. Because like they say, I mean, the FGC says they want more players, but it's these FGC guys that keep these guys away, keep casuals away by doing dumb crap. But I think by following these points, it would better be more suited for bringing more of these casual players back, like myself, into the fray, right? Because back there was a time when fighting games were more about fun rather than that whole FGC thing. I think it should be trying to, with Street Fighter 6 anyway, it seemed like it's trying to find a perfect balance for both worlds, right? The best of both worlds. Because even though I don't care too much for the FGC side of fighting games, I do realize that the reason why fighting games are getting improved is because of them, the FGC side. So, FGC side is all about the hype and doing cool stuff. Like I like watching football, basketball, but do I ever plan on being a professional athlete? No. So it's same thing applies, right? Like I do like play basketball, play football, sports for fun, but do I want to do it for like a career? No. But do I? It's still fun to watch, right? So that being said, if you like what I'm doing here, just remember to like and subscribe to the video. There'll be more to come in the future. I try to do this stuff every week. Try to get a video out every week. And thanks for watching.